2025. Now, these are the following events we have today. By 1:30 p.m., Fed Chair Powell will speak from the United States. Now, there's been a government shutdown from the US since last week, and it's still very much on, and it's impacting upon the markets. Good afternoon, Madam Onaji. It's still impacting upon the market up to now, especially the major currency pairs, dollar index, Euro USD, and the others. Good afternoon, Oluwatoba. So this speech by 1:30 p.m., I will advise you stay out of the markets that period, even though there may really be no movement, but we really don't know yet. But just preferably stay out of the market. Now, after that, the next event will come up by 11 p.m. So you can stay out by 1:30. By 2 p.m., you can come back to the market. Then on the technical, there are quite a number of technical setups that I'm going to share with us, which may likely trigger before the end of today. Some are on lower time frames, while some are like swing setup. So we just quickly look at them as we continue in this analysis session. So we're doing purely technical analysis this afternoon. Good afternoon, Armstrong. All right, so I'll start with the dollar index. Okay, so this is the dollar index on the 30 minutes time frame. Let's go to the higher time frame, like daily time frame. All right, so on the daily time frame for the dollar index, price has been trending downwards for some time, seeing a downtrend on the daily, and also a resistance, a key level, you add this as a resistance for some time, and a minor support at that point. Yeah, here, price broke out above but came down again, so it's still a very strong level. So this region here is actually a confluence where the trend line meets the resistance. So technically, we're looking out for a bearish movement on the dollar index. And that is giving us a bearish outlook on an instrument like the USD CHF, even though the setup is a bit not exactly as what we've seen on the dollar index, but still a bearish one. This is the USD CHF on a 4-hour time frame. Let me start it afresh so that I can get how I came about that. On the 4-hour time frame, price is also trending downwards. Lower high, and another one at that region up there. And secondly,
sorry, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
The chart is not showing.
Did you see my dollar index?
No, sir. It's the Forex Factory that is still showing.
How about now?
Not yet.
Okay, maybe it's just a network on your end. Any other person experiencing the same thing? Still on Forex Factory. Okay. Share screen not showing. All right, so how about now? Can you see it now? What are you seeing now? Are you still seeing Forex Factory on my charts?
Still Forex Factory, sir.
Okay, that should be the network then, because I've been on, still not visible. Wow. Because when I was to start, I moved over to MT4 and I've done it again now. So I don't know, maybe you need to refresh your network. I'll do it a third time now. How about now?
The same, sir.
Wow, that's a network issue. What I saying is blank. Wow. Okay. It's a network. Okay, so Daniel Emmanuel, what are you seeing at your end? Michael Asuko, okay, others are saying is okay. Michael Asuko is okay. Daniel Emmanuel is okay. So it could be your network. Okay, for those who are having this issue, please refresh your internet. I've done it 3 times now. Ochong is clear. That means Ochong is seeing my charts. So for those who cannot see my screen, please just refresh your internet. It could be your network. Adekoye Shegun is saying he can see my chat. So you can see more people are seeing my chat. All right, so let's just make progress. For the sake of those who didn't see earlier, so I'll revert back to the dollar index and I'll continue from there. So this is the dollar index on the daily time frame, and price has been trending downwards. It's been on a downtrend, and also we have resistance. So this is a confluence point, and we're expecting a further bearish breakout of price on the dollar index. Thank you for your updates, Mr. Bello Mohammed. So Mr. Bello Mohammed can see my screen. So we're bearish on the dollar index. So we'll go over now. We really don't trade the dollar index. It only gives us direction of the markets, for the major currency pairs. So for the USD CHF, this is 4-hour. Price is equally trending downwards on the 4-hour time frame. There's a downtrend. Also, we have price making some higher highs, and all of them meet at this place as a confluence. So technically, we're expecting a downward movement on the USD CHF from that point. In fact, this even goes further to still form a rising wedge. So we're bearish on the USD CHF. But then we're not looking for entry on 4-hour. We're looking for entry on a lower time frame, like 1 hour. So this is my 1-hour time frame. I can draw a trend line to give me that rising wedge. Now there's a minor support around here. All right. So if price breaks out below this minor support, then I'm expecting some bearish movement. RSI is already below 50. So we only need a new candle to break out below that minor support. And we anticipate price could move between okay, this should be Fibonacci 61.8, about 20 pips on the average, and it may proceed down to Fibonacci 78.6 at about 35 pips. So between 20 and 35 pips is possible on this instrument in the course of today. So put your attention on the USD CHF. We're bearish on the USD CHF. The same thing, we're bearish on the USD JPY, though this one might become a swing. From what I'm seeing, it may end up as a swing. I posted this analysis on all the groups yesterday, and it's still very valid as we speak. For the USD JPY, price is also trending down. This is very similar to what we saw on the USD CHF. Price is trending downwards on the daily time frame this time around, and we have a rising wedge. So technically, we're expecting price to drop, lower. However, there is a point of confluence. Confluence talks about when price meets at 2 or more points from where we expect the market to go in a specific direction. Here is a confluence point, and the current daily candle is already looking like a rejection candle. But then let's still take it down lower to like 4-hour time frame. You can still see that rejection candle is still very valid. So price may try to form something like a head and shoulder and break out downwards. So I'm bearish also on the USD JPY. Same way I'm bearish on the USD CHF, I'm bearish on the USD JPY. So if the USD JPY, USD CHF is bearish, a pair like Euro USD will be going in the bullish direction. And you can see there's already a falling wedge pattern from where I'm expecting a breakout. There's an inverse head and shoulder already formed. If price breaks above the neckline here with RSI above 50, then we'll be ready to trigger a buy on the Euro USD. So we're bullish on the Euro USD. Now, there are a lot of instruments here. I don't know if I may need to skip some because of time, but let's just continue. I'm bearish on the USD CHF. I'm bearish on the USD JPY. I'm bullish on the Euro USD. All of them on 1 hour. They are all intraday setup. Now for AED USD, AED USD is a swing setup. It's a swing setup. Just a second. Please, I would advise you put on your video feed so that it doesn't affect our bandwidth. All right, so for AED USD, this is a symmetrical triangle set up on the 4-hour time frame. Now, the rule around symmetrical triangle is this: if price breaks out upwards, it means we are buying. If it breaks out downwards, it means we are selling. So we just wait for the market to do its thing. Anywhere the breakout happens, that is where we trigger our trade. To the upside, we buy. To the downside, we sell. And if it's to the upside, price may likely target this high as a profit level. And if it's to the downside, price may target this low. So we're looking at on the average. Now there's a minor resistance here that price also needs to break out above on the 4-hour time frame. Price needs to break out above this level because it's a resistance. If we're going to be buying, price needs to break above that level. So we're targeting something like maybe some 50 pips on to the upside and to the downside about let's say roughly about 25 pips if it's to the downside. All right, so that's that on the AUD USD. Now, the British pound pairs are also getting ready for some massive breakouts. I'll look at GBP, AUD, and possibly GBP CAD. All right, for the GBP AUD, I'm looking at the 15 minutes time frame. Here, this one is, I'm expecting a major move on this one. On the weekly time frame, price has been on the uptrend. Then, recently, we also have a resistance turn support, making this place a confluence from where we're expecting a bullish movement. Because of time, I'll just flip straight to 15 minutes time frame. On the 15 minutes time frame, I'll be expecting a reversal to the upside. Yeah, it forms something that looks like a triple bottom pattern here, which will trigger price to the upside. So we're bullish on the GBP AUD. Now, for those who are swing traders, I have a setup for you, which I expect you to watch closely. And I'll close with that GBP, NZD, and GBP CHF. Now, this GBP NZD, don't miss it if you are a swing trader. For this one, on the daily time frame, you can see a very clear resistance. And the candle that closed yesterday closed as a very, very sharp rejection candle. So rejection candle resistance means that we're looking for opportunity to sell. And we equally have a rising weight pattern as a confirmation, all on the daily time frame. If we flip down to the 4-hour time frame, this is what we can see. Resistance, rising wedge. Yeah, it's possible price may still make some slight bullish movement before the breakout happens. But I tell you that the probability on this one is very, very high. I'm expecting a massive bearish breakout on this particular instrument, which can move to the tune of about 70 pips to Fibonacci 50, about 150 pips to Fibonacci 61.8, and about 250 pips to Fibonacci 78.6. All right, so we're bearish on the GBP NZD, and finally, I'll look at the GBP CHF. This one, I already posted it in the WhatsApp and all the groups. So it's just, the proper analysis. So here we have price already trending downwards on the 4-hour time frame. Then we have a confluence between the trend line and a minor resistance, which, is giving us some slight bearish movement. Now, we should not neglect the fact that this is also a head and shoulder pattern. So if price breaks below the neckline, we'll see a further breakout downwards. And that can fetch on the average close to about 50, 70 pips, because it can still drop. Okay, let me confirm again. Between 40 pips and about 80 pips, between 40 to 80 pips movement is anticipated on the GBP CHF. So watch this closely. Just watch for a new candle below that neckline region, target the first level, and price may also go to hit the second level over there. The confirmation is RSI should be below 50, and that is already happening. All right, so that will be all from my end this afternoon. I will look at the request and we'll close. Okay, Bello Oluwafemi is asking, what's the disadvantage of sticking with just a pair in trading? It depends on your trading style as a person. If you're sticking with one pair in trading, that means you will likely be doing scalping. Otherwise, if you're trading on 1 hour, you may likely not be seeing signal every day on one currency pair. If you want more signals and you're not doing scalping, you have to look at multiple currency pairs. But if one currency pair is what works for you, just know you're doing scalping, and there's nothing bad with that. Just do what works for you. That's it. But with this trading style with price action, we need to look at multiple, currency pairs to get a broader view of the market. All right. BTC USD. So I'll quickly check BTC USD and silver. Okay, I think this person asking about silver is the same person that asked about BTC Ethereum yesterday. So let's quickly get BTC USD. Okay, so this is BTC USD. Remember yesterday I said we'll be looking at selling if price breaks this support. But then between yesterday and now, that has not happened. So we will just kind of ignore it for now. Let's check again. All right, on the daily, we're still bearish on the daily. We're still bearish on the daily time frame, but price is not breaking out below that support. So, as long as it's not, we wait and see the market go away. We don't force ourselves into a trade. So we just ignore it. And that's why we need to look at multiple pairs, because sometimes the pair may not go your way. You have to check another one. So we check the silver. Now, for that person asking about silver, remember I said that, yeah, I said it categorically that this analysis is for that specific individual. And this is the BTC Ethereum of yesterday, which I said will break out upwards. That has already happened. And the price has moved to the tune of about 660 pips between the time we had the analysis yesterday and now. I hope that person took advantage of that analysis so that we don't just do this in vain. And for silver, all right. I remember also telling you about silver yesterday that it was at a critical point where if it breaks out to the upside, there will be a retest and continuation, which has happened, or to the downside, which did not happen. So again, I hope you took advantage of that. Currently, there is no setup on silver. If there's anyone later, we'll let you know. All right, so that'll be all from my end this afternoon. America is still having a shutdown, so trade in major currencies with a lot of caution. Take care and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, please, with USDC chef, please, can you still have a look at
Can I have a look at what?
before going?
A look at.
USDC chef.
Okay, so what am I looking at?
USDC chef.
What's your question about it, sir?
It's spot in 1 hour. I don't know if
this is USDC HF, sir.
yes.
So what's the question?
It's spot in 1 hour. Now, my question is that maybe you said there's a blog post that you dropped that if the price trades below that place.
Yes.
Now, and I know maybe the USD CHF is trending up, most likely going to touch maybe that last high.
It's not guaranteed.
We still anticipate it.
See, retracement can happen. What gave you the assurance it will go and hit here? It's a 50-50. It may not. What you should be concerned about is the overall trend. What is the overall trend? If the overall trend is bearish, then ignore whatever thing you are seeing and wait for that breakout to happen. That's your major concern. Leave any other thing out so that you don't get yourself confused. I hope you got that, sir. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, so I said your concern should be the overall trend and leave any other thing out of the market. Don't get yourself bothered about any other thing you're seeing. Just focus.
Hello, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So just focus on the overall trend. Leave the one that is trending up. You just ignore it. Behave as if you are not seeing it. You're only waiting for price
Okay,
to
sir.
break
Okay,
out
sir. Okay,
downwards.
thank you, sir.
That's all. All right, so that'll be all. Trade safe. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody. Bye-bye.